Hey everybody, welcome back to the Joe Rockstar channel. So, what's it like to race in an AMRA event? Action, adrenaline, exhilarating speed, and dramatic crashes maybe? Sure, it's all of those things. They're all part of it. But there are less glamorous aspects that we don't usually think about when it comes to a sport like this. Round 3 of the 2017 AMRA Off-Road Championship Series in Tucson, Arizona had me excited. This time I was prepared to ride faster, be more aggressive, and lay it all on the line to improve my position in the point standings. With 2 9th place finishes in my class, I was sitting in 7th place in the series standings. I spent a good deal of time practicing to get better at handling the big 500 in the turns and improving my endurance as well. I worked on obstacles like this log, which forced me also to work on recovering quickly from a crash. I showed up at this race feeling prepared, and feeling like a real racer. Now, documenting these races adds another aspect to race preparation, which can easily get overlooked. Sometimes you can't prepare for everything, and unfortunately this time I did a poor job on focusing on making the video. This time my focus was mainly on the race, and I made a rash decision at the last minute to run my camera at 4K, hoping to eliminate the issues that I had in the last race, but this resulted in the camera only running for 30 minutes of the first lap. Not the minimum 1 hour I expected. My brother came along to operate a second camera, but I failed to ensure that he knew how to use it correctly, and I failed to make sure that he was prepared for the shots that I wanted. He was not able to see what he was shooting with the sun washing out the LCD screen, and that's something I learned to deal with through experience using the camera. So he got some great shots of his feet in the dirt, but I can't be mad. He worked for free, and he hiked through hellish thorns and dusty desert trails to get the best shots of his feet one could get. His legs looked like he was in a fight with a weed whacker at the end of all of this. And for his efforts, it's the thought that counts, right? Now, the trifecta of this perfect storm of errors was in my decision not to make a pit stop to change batteries during the race in an effort not to lose ground. So this is the footage that we got. Not the most impressive, I know. As I watch this footage, it pains me to think of how much better I was riding in the second lap. It kills me that I can't share with you the cool passes I made or the jumps I cleared, the crash that sent me into a mesquite tree and the reason why I have bruised ribs. And most of all, the finish. This race would be the first live engine start of the season, with a couple of poles on either side of the track like goalposts funneling all of the racers into the race course. The potential was there for a dramatic pileup of bikes and humanity. I narrowly avoided crashing as riders to my right had me veering left into another rider. Sorry about that, man. Coming out of the first turn, I had a hold on 6th place. Then, at the next bottleneck, Rockstar sponsor and fellow racer Rick Scott deftly cut in front of me to take 6th place away. Good job, Rick. Here I would sit behind Rick Scott for much of the first lap, only to later give up another spot to Royal Man on the number 31 KTM. There I would stay trying to keep up and stay on course. Everything was going pretty well until seems like in this case, using more caution and following the lines of the riders in front of me would have been a better option. This mistake proved to be a costly one, as a parade of bikes go by while I struggle to get going again. Up till now, the defining aspect of what has made these races difficult for me was my lack of endurance and physical fitness. After Camp Wood, I felt that my endurance issues were beginning to be a thing of the past. I truly was physically tired after Camp Wood, but unlike every other event I've been in, I was not completely gassed at the end. And that turned out to be true in this race as well. Sure, I was tired, but this race was not defined by fatigue. This race was defined by an unrelenting and blinding cloud of dust. To the inexperienced, the dust may look impossible to ride in. Riding blind through an already difficult course, and it's a race to boot, seems crazy. What the camera doesn't show is how every breath is filled with dust. I first noticed a thick coating of something forming on the roof of my mouth about 15 minutes into the ride. It doesn't take a genius to realize that my mouth was becoming a muddy concoction of dust and saliva. I tried to ignore it, but you can't spit with your helmet on and expect a pleasant result. And when my nose began to run with dirt and snot buildup as well, you can imagine how uncomfortable things were. Breathing in all this dust could be why, on the day after the race, I was running a fever at 102 and felt sick as a dog. Close to the end of the first lap, things began to turn for me. I started going faster, smoother. It was my best race performance yet, and as I rode on, I knew it. Save for a crash and going off course for a mile or so in the third lap, where someone had broken the ribbon that blocked the wrong trail, it's plausible that I could have made the top 5 this time. But each race is a lesson learned, and this time I learned that I need to run 2 cameras on my helmet. One reserved for the first lap, and the second one to start about midway through the race. I also need to get a better camera for the third-person film. A drone would be a great asset, but most of all, I learned that I am capable of more than I give myself credit for on a dirt bike. And the finishing 9th and getting 3 laps in on this race was a great accomplishment. For those of you who don't, won't, or can't race these events, I hope this video has given you some glimpse into the less glamorous aspect of racing AMRA. The excitement and the glory comes with a price for those strong enough, brave enough, and determined enough to take on the challenge. For everyone else, you can always dream about it. But don't dream too long. You only live once, so get out and ride.